What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 7 spoiler video. As most of you know by now, the Game of Thrones Season 7 plot leaked online all the way back in October. At first, nearly everyone was skeptical about the validity of these leaks, but as time went on and more reports and photos continued to come out, it appeared that the leak was nearly 100% accurate. There are a few false leaks floating around the internet, but if you have heard the original one that was posted on Reddit by A Way for the Lads, then you pretty much know everything that is going to happen this season. But there is one thing that wasn't in the original outline that I want to discuss with you today. Obviously, these are major spoilers, so if you do not want to hear them, I would recommend clicking off this video now. But before we get into the spoilers, I'm going to give a little bit of a backstory first. Shall we begin? It's no secret that one of Jon Snow's biggest objectives this season is to go down to Dragonstone and mine for some Dragonglass. That way he can make weapons to use against the army of the dead. Because as we all know, Dragonglass is one of the few weapons that can kill the others. And this dates back thousands of years ago, way before the Children of the Forest were forced to shack up in the Three-Eyed Raven's cave. The Children of the Forest actually used to give Dragonglass weapons to the Night's Watch during the Age of Heroes, but over time, as the Children of the Forest started to die off, it was kind of forgotten about, and the Night's Watch started to lose focus of who the true enemy was. Well, thanks to Samwell Tarly, this ancient method of killing White Walkers has been rediscovered. Dragonglass was found at the Fist of the First Men, and Sam ended up using one of those daggers to kill a White Walker. Now this did happen a little bit differently in the books, but Lord Commander Mormont used to think about the Dragonglass that Sam had, which was actually Jon Snow's dagger. Lord Commander Mormont knew that every man on the wall needed this obsidian, but they had no idea where to get it. But Sam knew that the Children of the Forest used obsidian, so he knew they would know where to find it. Now we all know Stannis actually told Sam that Dragonglass was on Dragonstone, but Sam wasn't exactly sure where to find it on Dragonstone. But in the book, Stannis actually told Sam exactly where it was. He told Sam that it was under the mountain, but for some reason they changed it in the show. I guess they just did that so Sam could have something big to discover while he was at the Citadel. So when we fast forward a few years later, Sam is now at the Citadel and he finds the book that has a map of Dragonstone that shows exactly where the location of the Dragonglass is. Sam tells Jon where to find it. Now Jon is on Dragonstone, hoping Daenerys will allow him to mine for it, because he too wants to arm everyone in the north, especially the Night's Watch. As we saw in the last episode, Daenerys said she would allow Jon to mine for this Dragonglass that he so desperately wanted. She even agreed to supply him with men to help him if he needed. In the preview trailer for episode 4, we can see Jon Snow, Daenerys, and Missandei walking into what looks like a cave, as Jon leads the group with a torch. Now this is where the spoilers are actually going to come into play, and some of you might not think this is a big deal, but I thought this was very, very interesting. While they are down here inside these tunnels in the cave, they're going to end up going to a deeper and darker part of the cave, and they're actually going to discover some cave paintings on the walls. Some of these cave paintings will be the spirals, just like the spirals we have seen many times before. These paintings were actually done by the Children of the Forest, and they could be very similar to the werewood circles that have been seen before. It's not quite the same in the show as it is in the books, but the children have made these before too. Jon Snow and Daenerys realize these cave paintings are very old, and they've been here long before the Targaryens or Starks have ever been around. It says that Daenerys thinks these paintings date back to before there were even men, but Jon is going to show her another cave painting, and this one is very interesting as well. The picture Jon shows her is of 5 small figures with 3 larger ones, and it's the Children of the Forest and the First Men coming together to fight a common enemy, which is the White Walkers. Then they see another painting, and there is another group of figures, but it says one of them is clearly the Night King painted on the wall. And Jon uses these paintings as an example to show Daenerys that even though they may have their differences, this proves that there has always been a need for them to come together and fight this enemy. Apparently it says that Daenerys is going to believe Jon and agree with him, and she does agree to help him, but only if he bends the knee. Now this spoiler kinda blew my mind when I first read it. The Children of the Forest have always been known to live in caves and secret tree towns, and I've always wondered where the children was getting their obsidian from. This appears to show that the Children of the Forest were actually getting their obsidian from Dragonstone too, and they may have even gotten the Dragonglass they used to create the Night King from one of these caves. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if I went into one of these caves and saw cave paintings of little children of the forest and those spirals and some White Walkers and the Night King, I would be creeped the fuck out. Do any of you actually think this has a deeper meaning to it than just showing that people with differences have had to come together before in the past in order to defeat their enemy? These werewood circles and spirals keep popping back up and are most likely going to play some kind of a role in the end game. We have seen these designs many times before, even back in Season 1, when Ned beheaded the man from the Night's Watch. If you look at the stone formation around the stump, the large pieces of stone are actually in a circle, similar to how the ice blocks were in a circular formation where the Night King turned the baby into the White Walker. This kind of thing has always interested me and made me very curious as to what else this could actually mean. These cave paintings may not end up meaning much more than what Jon said they proved, but they still intrigue me nonetheless, and I have a feeling we may see the Children of the Forest once again. I actually don't think Bran Stark is going to stay at Winterfell for the rest of his life, or at least for the rest of this series, I should say. I know it seemed like the rest of the Children of the Forest are dead and they died in the cave when Bran, Hodor, and Mira had to escape, but there might actually be more of them at the Isle of Faces where the first pact was made. Bran may end up being led down there now that he is the Three-Eyed Raven. And as we saw in the last episode, Bran really doesn't fit in with regular society anymore. He is so distant from everyone and has really lost touch with most human emotions. And I feel like he's going to need to leave Winterfell in Season 8. And if there are any more Children of the Forest, I think Bran will have to find them. Because in the books it is said that the Children of the Forest can speak with the dead. They don't talk and have language like humans do, like they did in the show. So if that's the case, Bran might actually have to end up being able to do the same thing. Bran might actually end up being one of the only people who can communicate with the Night King. I think if there is anyone that is going to be able to speak with the dead, then it has to be Bran now that he is arguably one of the most powerful people in the show. We already know that Bran and the Night King can interact with each other in the same vision. We saw the Night King reach out and touch Bran. So I think once Bran learns how to fully harness his powers, he might actually be able to do much more than that. Hell, he might even learn how to get inside the Night King's head. But I don't want to go too far down into tinfoil territory, but I just have a feeling we haven't seen the last of the Children of the Forest. There is still so much more to learn, obviously. But comment down below and let me know what you think about the paintings in the cave. Do you think that this is enough evidence for Daenerys to trust Jon and no longer ask him to bend the knee? I'm curious to see what all of you have to say about this. As always, thanks for watching the video. I really do appreciate that. The channel has been growing tremendously ever since the season started. All the support I've been getting has me at a loss for words. I never could have imagined this many cool people would actually want to come to my channel and talk about Game of Thrones, but I'm so happy all of you actually have. Thanks again. And I also want to thank my Patreon supporters. You continue to support the channel, and I love all of you for that. I hope you have a good day. I'll see you down in the comment section. Bye.